Hey everybody, it's Steven here, and we're back. Last week, we ate like a Korean college student. I got to impress my mother-in-law with the tteokbokki that I made. But today, I'm very curious to see what a British high schooler eats like, so come with me as we enter the taste buds of a British high schooler. We'd like to thank our friends over at Pillowcase for sponsoring this video. Ba-dang! It's a Pila case right there. Pila creates compostable phone cases that are made from a plant-based material, offering a sustainable alternative to a traditional plastic case. Hailing from Canada, Pila is a B Corp certified, ensuring that they meet social and environmental standards. All Pila case products are compostable, meaning that they come from the earth to the earth. Not only are they committed to the environment, but Pila cases are also a fun way to personalize your phone. Check out this other one that I got here of a galaxy. It's actually Olivia's. Hey, here you go, Olivia. I'm using the Forest Floor iPhone 12 Pila case. Check that out. And I really like it because first of all, it's flexible, it's also quality, and it has a wallet so I can throw my credit cards in here. It's awesome. Then I don't have to carry my wallet around. I just have one phone, my keys, and that's it. Bada bing, bada boom. You'll also feel secure knowing that their military grade protection can cover your phone from a drop of up to 6 feet. And I've actually dropped it up to more than 6 feet. Not that I would recommend that, but my phone is still here. We here at Watch Your Love Pila's commitment to the environment and creating a waste-free future. If you want to check out Pila's fine line of earth-friendly products, check out their link in our description below. Thanks again to Pillowcase for sponsoring this episode. Now back to Eat Like Me. The reason why I wanted to eat like a high schooler for today is because when I was in high school, I was a very picky eater who had very specific taste. I was eating chicken nuggets, pizza, never had sushi in my life. And so, I wanna know, are high school routines similar across the world? Today, we have a very special guest, and his name is Ethan. He is a British student who is a good friend of Simone, our social media coordinator. And we're gonna chat with him on how he ate when he was in high school. Hi Ethan, nice to meet you.
Hi Steven, nice to meet you too.
I do wanna talk about you, and specifically, I'm very curious about how high schoolers eat. Because when I was in high school, I ate like a garbage can.
Well, in the UK, like high school meals are very nutritious. We like to balance it off our 5 main food groups. Coffee, regular and decaffeinated, that's 2. Baked beans, that would be our 3rd. Tea would be our 4th. And then like an apple crumble would be our 5th food group. So we like a really well-balanced diet.
Is a high school you were drinking coffee?
Yeah, it's really normal over here to have coffee since leaving the womb. Tea is just part of our culture. Like anything can be solved in the UK with 2 things, either a wet paper towel or a cup of tea. Sometimes both.
I actually want to also hear more about you when you were in secondary school.
Ethan in secondary school was quite a different creature to how he is now. He was really small, not very popular, however, had a big eye for food. Like I was such a foodie in secondary school growing up. I had to eat like a king. But also secondly, it's really common for parents to be working when you come back from school, so the children just prepare the food, which means that the nutrition of the household sometimes is based off of a 14-year-old. A typical breakfast in secondary school, you would wake up and you would have toaster crumpets with a cup of tea or coffee. Crumpets are what the Queen sent to us from God. They're like standard in the English diet. If you don't really understand it, you're probably not meant to understand it, but it's somehow savory, somehow light, somehow fluffy. You garnish with a bit of butter and it's just the yummies in your mouth. You have to have an English breakfast tea made the English way. You take your tea bag, you boil the kettle, you put the water over the tea bag and you stir for a good 3 seconds, and then you put the tiniest dash of milk on top so that it's got a good hearty color to it, but it's not black.
So to start off, we're having breakfast. Ethan recommended that we have crumpets and tea and maybe some coffee. I've actually never eaten crumpets before in my life. This seems like a pancake English muffin. Look, pancake on one side, English muffin on the other. It's like a mullet. Business in the front, party in the back. These are usually eaten a little toasted. I don't own a toaster. I don't know, it's kind of weird. I just toast everything on my stove. But today we'll be using Annie's air fryer. And let's do an air crisp. I would have loved this in high school, I feel like. You're in a rush to get to school, you're riding the bus. It's a good grab and go munch. Can't. crumpet. All right, now we shall spread some butter on top. Oh man, when I was a kid, I love butter now. Who doesn't love butter? But I loved butter. Generous spread. Oh, I see. The holes soak up the butter, make it taste better. Alrighty, and to top it off, we're going to finish this with a cup of tea. So we're doing PG tips, which is something that Ethan actually recommended. So he said that he tops it off with a little milk at the end. So I'm gonna just add a little bit of milk here. Okay, and there you have it, my friends, crumpets and tea. I feel so British. Hello, good day. Ooh, you hear that? I'm a fan. Wait, why did we import the English muffin and not the crumpet? What is going on? This is so much better than an English muffin. It feels a little lighter than an English muffin, and because of the airiness, because there's so much texture inside the crumpet, it actually makes it a crispier bite. And like, because there's so many holes, the butter actually soaks in to the crumpet really well, which you don't really get as much with like toast or with an English muffin. Now with the tea, cheers mate. I like it. Has a little milk, reminds me of boba. Tea and crumpet, what are we doing here? Like we started our day correctly. Now on to our next meal.
Honestly, the most common lunch you could have as a UK high school student. Now, stay with me on this one. Baked beans. We also throw in what's called frozen potato waffles, and it's kind of like a culinary gift from the gods. They are normally in smiley faces, just to remind us to stay positive and happy, but it kind of adds to the chaos that is already on the plate, but also it's kind of like this main substance of the food, and it just complements well with baked beans. And then to finish this sort of palette of a meal, we would have what's called turkey dinosaurs, which are like kind of chicken nuggets, but they're shaped like dinosaurs, so they're cool and fun. Normally, notoriously, we have vending machines in our school. You would just buy a sports drink of some descript. It's kind of like a rite of passage to get an energy drink at lunch because it's what all the cool kids do. You have Lucozade and you have Lucozade Sport. The best flavor that you can ever possibly imagine would be the orange flavor.
I feel like lunch across cultures is one of the best ways to tell something about somebody. You can look at somebody's lunch and see what kind of person they are. Lunch is not only about taste, but it's also about sustenance. It's about what's your go-to meal. And so today, for lunch with Ethan, we have a very unique go-to meal. High School Steven approves of this meal. All right, so to begin, we are going to be making our own smiley fries, which Brittney has helped to prepare. We also are using a recipe from Hebar's Kitchen. So all we're doing here is just making a little dough. We have our potato, we have our breadcrumb, some masa, corn flour, and then we'll add some salt and chili powder to taste. This is bringing me back to Disgranded, and I do not like it. No! Once I combine everything together, I'll make 2 little balls and then cut out some circle fries. I'm a dough master. I'm a dough king. All right, here we go, smile time. Happy dog. I don't know about that. How far do eyes land on a face? Yeah, that's pretty good. All right, now the smile. You ever seen the smiley emoji now? The regular smiley emoji doesn't mean what it used to mean. What does it mean? It's like I'm mad at you or what? Sinister. Like sinister, there it is. Man, how much has that changed? So we have now our smiley fries. Ta-da! We're gonna now fry them in our air fryer with these dino nuggets. We're gonna name these. The middle one is Ethan, the best looking one. This one's me, because I was a mistake. This one's Annie. Everybody jump into the hot tub. While that's finishing, we're gonna microwave these baked beans. So the British beans are cooked with tomato sauce, which is pretty unique. I don't think I've had this before. I'm gonna microwave this for about 1.5 minutes. So we have Ethan's lunch. It doesn't look that appetizing, but I'm pretty gosh darn excited to eat this. But we have a little surprise, a Lucozade. And we found it online. The Dino Nuggets are like the gummy bites of food. Everybody of any age group can and should be eating them consistently. You know what I want? I want some mayonnaise. Mayonnaise is British. This is my Sir Kensington's mayonnaise. He's from the UK, right? Yeah, I would have loved that as a kid. It's like a little bit of everything that a kid wants. Fizz, sugar, sweetener, caffeine. This is a teenage boy's dream.
For a typical snack in a UK secondary school, you would have either a sausage roll or a pasty, coupled with another cup of tea if you were to have a drink.
Next up is our snack. And our snack is very interesting because I feel like the person who chose this, Ethan, were like, breakfast was so good, let's run that back. Because it's tea and crumpet, but now it's tea and sausage roll. I had a steady diet of caffeine today. Every meal has had caffeine. Breakfast, the tea. Lunch, the Lucozade. And now a snack, more tea. So we have a sausage roll. Interesting, interesting. Okay, so inside we have not just a sausage, but there's onions, a little bit of garlic and thyme I smell as well. This is like a bratwurst inside a croissant. It's like the OG pigs in a blanket. You ever buy those like Pillsbury hot dog ones? Just me? Okay. When you're a growing boy, you're in high school, you know, you're after lunch, you're hungry, you need a snack. And I could see this being the perfect grab and go snack. Shout out to the UK, you know?
Growing up, my favorite ever dinner was bangers and mash, which is essentially mashed potato, sausage, maybe some peas if you're spicy, and some gravy. And it's a messy amalgamation of food on your plate, but it is like delicious, nutritious brilliance. However, Stephen, you also have to try, which is like a hometown plate of where I'm from, a shepherd's pie, which is just meat inside like a traditional English pie, but it's so gorgeous to the taste that you will have your life blown away, socks off on the floor.
Okay, so for our final meal, I'm glad that we were able to send out Carter to pick up some food from the local pub here. A typical British dinner for our high schoolers, bangers and mash, which this is not the first time that potatoes or sausages have entered my plate. And then, as a gift, he said, you know, we should really try the shepherd's pie. And don't get me wrong, I love meat and potatoes, but it's been a long day of meat and potatoes. So we have here sausages, topping over onions. We have mushy peas, and you can't forget the gravy. The gravy is the most important part of bangers and mash. Ethan said to shove everything in my mouth at the same time. I don't know if I would do that again. Kind of strange with the sweetness, the savory, and the acidity. Maybe individually. I'm not gonna lie though, I love mashed potatoes. That's great. It's very nostalgic for me. I don't think I prefer peas this way because it looks like baby food. I'm more on the bangers and mash side than the mushy pea side. This is the only greens that you've had all day. I guess you gotta eat them. So we have here our shepherd's pie. From my understanding, shepherd's pie is a minced meat topped with mashed potatoes. I don't think I've ever thought of mashed potatoes as a topper, but it sounds delicious. It's like boringly delicious. There's not much going on other than putting two ingredients together, but it's great. Like it's delicious, it's filling. And last but not least though, I've been saving room for this. I'm going to have dessert.
In a typical English sort of household growing up secondary school, this is probably up there with a cup of tea of the most sacred of British food, and it's a crumble, specifically apple. I wouldn't know how else to word this other than like, God gifted this to us and you can't have it as American. Like, I'm giving you permission now, but just this once.
This is our apple and pear crumble, and it looks delicious. I really can't wait to try this. We got some custard on the side too. Come on, I don't deserve this. Ethan speaks very highly of this. As somebody who does trust Ethan with my life, I am excited. How did we not steal this? Kids over in the UK, they're eating well. They're having hearty meals. What a day's worth of food for an individual. I think I could only eat this if I was like growing and going through puberty and like, you know, having my growth spurt because it's just too much food. I really enjoyed the constant caffeine intake. I feel alive right now. All right, well that's it for today. There's a lot of food, but if you think that today was a lot, wait and tune in until next week because we have a special guest who will be returning to the Watcher universe, and I'll be eating their crazy